Today I'm going to be answering the age-old question, which protein is best for the gains? Now, I believe I'm the right person to ask this. The reason is, from the beginning of my training about 8 years ago, I've taken every single mass gainer I can think of, big 5 kg tubs of Mass Gainer 5000, Serious Mass, the USN range also. I've taken a vast range of whey proteins, I've taken egg white proteins and vegan proteins now. I've got a pretty good experience with BCAAs and glutamines and other supplements too. So I believe I've had enough experience with these supplements to be able to recommend to you what will actually be optimal for your gains. So the first point that I need to make is that if you're searching for gains and searching for results and progress from powders and supplements, I'd say you're going about things the wrong way. Now, what you actually need to do, rather than relying on these things that may give you 5% on top of an already good program, is actually invest in a good training program. You need to invest in a training routine where you're able to work out each muscle 2 to 3 times per week, which is probably ideal for most everyday workers, day-to-day kind of office workers, etc. Workouts like full body 3 times per week, upper body, lower body splits, push-pull leg splits. These type of workouts allow you to hit muscles more frequently rather than a typical body part split, which will only allow you to do kind of chest on a Monday and chest again the following Monday. Optimal training means, similarly to nutrition, where we focus on the nutrition for 80%, 90%, and then we maybe look at supplements and teas and etc, all these like little things which might give us an edge. Well, it's the same with training. So we're focusing the vast majority of our efforts on the compound lifts, the lunges, the squats, the rows, the pull-ups, the chin-ups, the dips, the presses, the overhead presses, the farmer's walks, the cleans, etc, burpees, sprinting, you know, the list goes on. The multi-joint exercises, the ones that are going to tax you the most, they're going to build the most muscle, they're going to burn the most calories. It's focusing the vast majority of time and effort on those, and then going to the isolations to kind of finish things off. So maybe I've done an overhead session where, you know what, I really haven't hit my rear delt too much, I haven't hit my side delt too much, so okay, I'll spend some time doing some cable face pulls just to finish things off, the cherry on the cake. If we can take that approach with our training also, we'll get far more out of our training, far more gains. Now, the reason why it's important to get your training right before relying on supplements is because these protein powders won't mask bad training programs. So if you're coming into the gym and you're doing chest on one day, arms on another day, back on another day, and legs and shoulders on the fourth day or something along those lines, that's a pretty far from optimal training style that you've chosen. The reason why we need more frequency is to get a better spike of muscle protein synthesis. So the first thing you can do, rather than relying on these supplements, is to invest in a proper training routine which is scientifically proven to get you better muscle and strength gain. The second thing you need to do is to build up a nice foundation of solid nutrition. Now, it's important to remember what does supplement actually mean. A supplement is supposed to add a kind of like a cherry on the cake, as it were, to a nice foundation of solid nutrition. Nutrition whereby your calorie intake is ideal for your goal. So if you're trying to bulk up, your calories are higher. If you're trying to shred down, your calories also should reflect that. And more importantly, nutrition where your protein intake is kind of within the recommended ranges. So rather than focusing on which protein powder should I be taking, what actually matters is your daily protein intake. As long as your daily protein intake is going by the recommended numbers by sports nutritionists and kind of like the latest body of research right now, which is you need to be consuming 1.3 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Or let's just push that to 2 grams per kilo for like vegans and maybe vegetarians who have kind of lower quality protein sources, and that will be more than sufficient for your gains. Now, I've also had some really funny experiences where people have said to me they used Optimum Nutrition's gold standard and they got some great results just from that supplement alone. Now, my question would be, if you were to replace that 30 grams of protein you may have been getting from 1.5 servings of that gold standard per day with some food to replace it, just a chicken breast for example, would your results differ in any way? And the answer simply is no. It's just that they've failed to understand what a supplement actually is for. That protein supplement is for if you're struggling to get within that range, which you shouldn't be through solid food alone. You can use a protein supplement to basically, it's just a bit more of a convenient way for you to reach that in that range. The other point that needs to be made there is if I spent 50 pounds on a 2.2 kilo tub of gold standard, I would also want to make myself believe that I've made some gains from it, because that's just the bias that we would have. We've made a financial investment into that product. And the other funny example is where I used to take a mass gainer, which was a 5 kilo tub, and somebody who I won't mention actually said to me, did you gain 5 kilos of mass from that tub? And it's like it's almost been embedded into our minds that these powders are going to give us gains as opposed to the actual training and the nutrition. So no, I did not gain 5 kg of lean muscle mass from a 5 kg mass gainer. Looking back now, I know it was pretty much all just fat gain and water retention. So I think to sum up, make sure your training routine is ideal for your goals. Not even ideal, make sure it's optimal for your goal. And generally, I'd say from my experience in gyms, people aren't training reflecting their goals. That's just an experience I've had. Secondly, I'd say focus on your nutrition and creating that base layer of the solid foundation to which supplements may add 5%, but nothing more. That includes making sure your calories are relevant for your goal, but more importantly, making sure your protein is within the right ranges. So 1.3 grams of protein per kilo to 1.8 grams per kilo, pushing that up to about 2 for vegans. But other than that, I hope you left this video knowing how you can get some better gains, and I'll see you in that next one.